What's up, WWE Champions Universe? This is Lee from Champions Chat, and this is why I love the Zombies crossover event. First off, I need to personally apologize to my former leader from the Black Pearl, Miss T. Miss Tina, you are an amazing woman. I disagree with you on one thing. Probably only one thing in life. Maybe more than that. I don't know. But I disagree with your hatred for zombos, as you call them. Zombies, I think, is a fun crossover in the game. There are, of course, so many of them. It's the biggest crossover that WWE does yearly. It's the only one that we can kind of count on like clockwork, that there's going to be a spring outbreak with gear. There's going to be an October zombie drop. I have some thoughts on who I want to see for this next year's zombies that, maybe Rusty and I can talk about in a future podcast episode. But for now, why I love the Zombies crossovers. Well, we were just playing with Zombie Rey Mysterio, but he gives me two of the points that I have as to why I like the Zombies crossover. One, I love the alternate universe kind of feel that they do with these characters. They're not very, well, some are, but most of them aren't very like Fangoria and just like over the top bloody and like Walking Dead. They're like fun. They're like the fun zombies that, you take over and try to meet mom and make sure they don't eat mom, right? That's what the zombies are in this game. They're cute zombies. But two, the other thing I really like about the zombies is that they have these stupid themes for them every year. Like, zombies in and of itself is a theme. But we had a year of cowboy zombies. And then the cowboy zombies went to the beach. And we got beach gear zombies. And then we've got zombie CM Punk, who's just wearing a bath towel. And he's got a rubber ducky. Like, they're so fun. I mean, I just think they're hilarious when they do these. So you've got Rey Mysterio, who apparently his zombie went jet skiing, right? That's his theme here. But also, the third thing I love about the Zombies crossover is, unlike the other crossovers, the Zombies crossover characters seem to be built to last. Like, their training and coaching abilities, for example, from last year, are going to be evergreen for the game, or at least for a long stretch, right? They give you something that's always valuable, usually in their coaching abilities. Like this year's series with Zombie Ray and Zombie Randy and Zombie Dom, that year's series, these are still very important trainers. Last year's zombies are still very important trainers. They're also often some of the best fighters in the game. Like, for example, Zombie Ray, I just did on the Who Should You Put the Frankie the Parrot plates on, and Zombie Ray hit for 127 million with the Frankie the Parrot plate and nothing else. Like, he's still super relevant. Super relevant, which is awesome. Zombie Sammy, which is my punching bag on the road, still one of my favorite characters in the entire game. And again, look, they went to the beach. He was a cowboy. See, there's the cowboy hat. And then he went to the beach. I just don't know why that cracks me up so much, but it does. But Zombie Sammy, one of my top strikers in the game, like by a long stretch. And if I could get another of the green Piper plates, I have one now, and it lives on Ilya. But if I could get another one, I absolutely would be able to take Zombie Sammy through the roof. Because the Ilya and Charlotte share a strap now. So those two have my green Piper plate. But if I got a second one, it absolutely goes to Zombie Sammy. I love him. I love him. I love the crossover. Like, let me just scroll through and see some of them. Zombie Ray, I think, was amazing. Why won't it let me scroll? There we go. Zombie Bobby Lashley, he's 6 gold because I really want him to come back. He's one of my all-time favorites. He was my first ever MLC chase that I got. And now I've got everything for him, and he's still not great. But I loved him. Like, they did the all bitey. Come Come on, that's funny. They did such a good job. Becky Two Bites, wherever she is, that's obviously not her. One of my favorites. I still use her. I used her last feud, and she did phenomenally. Like, really, really, really good. Zombie Bailey, phenomenal. Plus, they did the Radioactive year with them. This was a fun MLC, right? You got the Radioactive, and then the gear was like they became fish people. So suddenly they're fish zombies, which, again, like, they already had a theme that was hilarious. Radioactive is probably the closest to, oh, that could maybe make some zombies. But then they became fish people as well. So, they morphed because of the radioactivity. And I have a really sad fact when I find them, but let's keep going. Zombies here. Not a zombie, although it looks like. Not a zombie, although that's a Halloween event one. These two, so LA Knight and CM Punk, the toxic zombies that also become fish people. I have both of these two on my roster. This is my top trickster although I like Hornswoggle better in terms of using him. But this is my top trickster. Awesome. Thank you for crashing. Hold on, gotta reload. Yeah, the Mer zombies, slim numbers, absolutely. Like Mer zombie. And then I was just about to show CM Punk. CM Punk, when I got his gear, first when I recruited him, I was like, hooray! Like, because I didn't have blue CM Punk. I only had, I mentioned Miss Tina earlier, so I'm going to use her terms for this one. I had I didn't have blue raspberry. I had red apple. I got red apple CM Punk. And I had the green cucumber. That's not right. CM Punk before that. But I needed a good CM Punk. I got the red one. Life was good. All right, so now we can scroll back down to the Mer zombies. I think I just passed where I was. Right. Here they are. So, yeah, like CM Punk. So, love this. And then this is his other gear. He's got a bath towel on. I just like... How do you disarm a zombie and make them not as scary? You make them shower ready. That's what we're going for here, right? But it's just fun, right? And they're so often, like, these are two of my best fighters on my roster. I already mentioned Zombie Sammy's up there. Let's keep going because there's a lot of them. We'll just highlight a few of them here. Zombie Doink would be frightening. If they kind of did that with Mutant Doink, kind of. Where have all the zombos gone? There we go. Like this. Where else are you going to find a too bad version of the Usos where they like fuse the zombie together? I love it. I love that every move is a combo move, even though triple purple's the way to go. And then again with the gear, you get sailor hats and fishnets that, like are glitching maniaing right there. Like, whoa, that's fun. But yeah, just fun. Just fun. All right, random fact. Okay, here's the Cowboy Zombies. I've got all the Cowboy Zombies together, apparently, which is cool. This was a great run. Sami Zayn, Liv, Becky, and Cody. And then I think Damian Priest is the other one that was in that mix. I'm pretty sure that was Damian Priest's year as well. And I think this guy. Yeah, these guys and Damian Priest were the run for that month. All of them S tier except for Damian. Interesting. But anyway, all of these great. Now, shout out for Rusty here. Rusty still cannot get over the fact that Zombie Cody's starfish shoulder gear, see there's like this, or jellyfish shoulder, is red moves. Not all color, just red moves. Rusty has begged the devs repeatedly, obnoxiously, just being honest. No, I'm just kidding. To make that all colors because this Cody is still very good. By the way, another good place to put the Frankie the Parrot plate. I just don't know if I would want a parrot on Zombie Cody's shoulder because, might get eaten. But other than that, that's really cool. Let's see, Zombie Taker, but that's not Zombie Taker. This one, please put back in the game. Now that Aleister Black is back with WWE, please put him back in the game. I loved this dude when he came out. If you don't remember, they used to do these like superstar trials where they would actually loan you the poster for like a weekend, and you got to play with that character as if you owned them, and then you had to give them back. It was really kind of an interesting dynamic. I don't know, like it seemed like it cost them a lot of like brain power to do it, because there was always an issue with taking them back, putting them on, and then if you had like straps on them when they took them back, sometimes your straps and your plates disappear. It was a mess. But now that he's back, can we please put him in the loot this October? I want him. He's cool. He's super cool. I like Aleister Black on TV though. Like, he's a good. That is not a zombie, although stay puffy. All right, so then we got Zombie Dragon, one of my favorites still. He's dropped in power, but they keep putting things on him that situationally he does better and better. If they were to do a gear that starts him with MP, I would be super happy with that. Zombie Randy Orton can hit for about 90 to 100 million with a couple things, just very cascade prone. HBK, super cool. Don't know who that is. Is this my invisible guy? Oh, I forgot this was on here still. This is Mystery Superstar. I've never taken Mystery Superstar into anything because he has all purple moves that are coming soon. Yeah, just in case you needed to know, there's also this guy. Temp needs replaced. Don't crash. Okay, thank you. Sweet. So yeah, that's Mystery Superstar. Zombie, that guy that we don't talk about, Bruno. Zombie Shinsuke. Where is the one I'm thinking of, though? Because I want to make a very sad observation. A very heartfelt moment, if I can find him. Let's see. Zombie Rock, I didn't have Zombie Austin, who's right here, by the way. I didn't have Zombie Austin forever. Zombie Rock was like my go-to zombie. I mean, he did some work for me for a while. By the time I got this Zombie Austin, he wasn't the king anymore. But just remember a day in the game where that Zombie Austin could not be beaten by anyone except Striker X-Pac. Striker X-Pac could beat him. Nobody else could beat that zombie. If you had him, that was the king of the game. Zombie Austin. And he's a little more Fangoria, a little more gross. All right, here we go. So this week we lost Hulk Hogan. The observation I want to make, which is very, very sad, but WWE Champions does not do zombie characters for living humans. Not for non-living humans, I should say. For people who have passed. Like, you're not going to get a zombie Eddie Guerrero. You're not going to get, a zombie whoever. Like, it's just not going to happen. Which means, as of this week, this is the only zombie in the game of a non-living human being. And I've said it many times. Hogan had controversy surrounding him in his later years. But man, that dude was my childhood. This was the moral compass that helped shape who I became. It was like him, Superman, and eventually Jesus, but like first it was those guys. So yeah, not only RIP, but also weird that this is now the zombie that actually is of a non-living person. So interesting, right? That's sad. Zombie Mankind was a go-to for a long stretch. His ability to completely re-heal himself constantly was one where you could win a lot of matches you got yourself in trouble for, or got in trouble with. Zombie Cena's somewhere in the mix. Again, there's just so many of them, right? So I'm not gonna go through every single zombie. This looked like a zombie the first time I saw it, and then he has the same name almost as his zombie version, which is strange. Zombie AJ was the only other one I wanted to kind of land on, just because Zombie AJ was my top guy on my roster when I first got him, and he was terrible. But I do not get tired of sharing the story of how Zombie AJ carried my roster until I learned better, right? Paige is the Zombie Austin of the females. Yeah, and then there's just some others in here. So, yeah, let's talk real quick about who I want to see in this year's zombie crossover. Because I theoretically, I look Zombie Asuka. Zombie Asuka was okay at best. So let's put her on screen though. 'Cause she looks super cool. Like they did a really fun job with her. She's got this like painted doll look that's really frightening if you actually like stare at it. But anyway, who do I want to see this year's Zombies? I want Zombie R-Truth. That's my biggest one. Like I want Zombie R-Truth. I would imagine that they're going to do a Zombie Tiffy time. I think that's probably a lock. I don't know. Like I don't have any dev information and stuff. That would just make sense. I'm shocked, quite frankly, that they still, only have one version of Tiffy time in the entire game. But I think Zombie Tiffy time would be a good one. Unfortunately, we already have a Zombie Rhea. I say unfortunately because I think they could do a lot better now. I'm not calling for them to do a second Zombie Rhea, but I would be open to it with her more than any others. However, and we need her in the game other than a zombie version, but if memory serves correctly, Sasha Banks, which we can't say that name, Sasha Banks Zombie, I think was the first version of Sasha in the game. I could be wrong. Somebody correct me in the comments section. Probably am. But I would love to see a zombie Stephanie Vaquer. That would be amazing, right? So Tiffy time's my lock. The other female zombie I want to see, because kind of like with Zombie Hogan, R.I.P., how they made him an acrobat where Hulk Hogan was never... Like, Hulk Hogan was a better wrestler than people give him credit for, especially if you watch his New Japan runs and things like that. Like, he actually had moves. He knew what to do to make things happen. Yes, Sasha is a trickster. I'm saying I think the zombie Sasha was the first version of Sasha in the entire game. I could be wrong. But either way. But the one that I want to see would be Acro Nia Jax. I would love to see Acrobat Zombie Nia Jax. Because they kind of use that Acrobat slot with the zombies to give it to people who really just aren't that, right? Like Randy Orton, never would I consider Randy Orton an acrobat. Yet the zombie version, okay, cool, that makes sense. Hogan, same thing. Becky, Becky's probably the closest. Like, she could do acrobatic stuff, but obviously that's not her forte. So for me, I want to see Powerhouse Tiffy Time Zombie. I want to see Acro Nia Jax. I want to see Striker Stephanie Vaquer. I want to see Showboat R-Truth. But please make him better than Showboat Roman Reigns Zombie, because that one is terrible now. And then I need another guy or two, right? So who's my other guys? I would love to see like zombie versions of the Wyatt Six. Like in particular, Uncle Howdy. I would definitely go for one of those. Zombie Batista. I'm 90% sure we don't have a Zombie Batista. I would definitely go for that. We've got Zombie Triple H. Can't do anybody who's not living anymore. Zombie Kane's already there. Zombie Kurt Angle. I would love to see a new Kurt Angle in the game. And I would definitely go for, Trickster. That would be a way to get a good Trickster Kurt Angle. Zombie Kevin Nash. I was going to say they should do like an NWO. They can't do that anymore. Yeah. Zombie Naomi. But I've got too many women already on the plate, so maybe not. Zombie, can't do Roddy Piper. Can't do Razor Ramon. Zombie APA would be fun. Zombie Sergeant Slaughter could be really cool. Like if they really did him up as like this military zombie, like militaristic zombie, that could be super cool. I would be for that. Yes, you're absolutely right, JCGXP. That was actually one of the ones I was trying to think of that before I had thought like, hey, one of these days Rusty and I is going to do this video. We may still and get his picks, but Zombie Miz and Zombie R-Truth. Those would be my two top guys. And then Zombie Sheamus, because let's be honest, like they could do like a zombie Great White and make him like he's kind of like more of like a Great White Shark kind of look. Or mutants, if they did mutants, and then really they could lean into that King Shark kind of look for him. That would be super cool. I would like that. Also, quick weird note, but the Undisputed Fiend Seth Rollins zombie. So this is the other Fiend, not Bray Wyatt's Fiend. This guy's the other Fiend. Yeah, we do need a good Sheamus period. Like, Sheamus, of all people, has really earned some respect on his name, so to speak, for that. I could do a zombie Mr. T. I don't think they would do that, but they could. Zombie Booker T. That would be a fun one. They could play off the 5x5, or they could play off the Harlem Heat and be like on fire zombies. Like, they kind of have Fire Lord, Molten Lava, Triple H zombie. They could kind of make that a theme. There's zombie Charlotte Flair. She's terrible. Cora Jade's gone. We've got zombie Gunther. He was part of the hat-wearing people. We've got zombie Chelsea. Zombie Devon and Bubba. That'd be fun. This guy, also, I would love to come back just so I could get his character, because I don't have this one. I would love to get that one. We've got a zombie Edge. This is the most like gross of the like gross out looking guys out of all the zombies. This is the closest to like actual body horror they kind of did, and he's terrible. Like he looks cool, but he's terrible in the game. They could do a zombie Jesse Ventura. That would be kind of a short-lived time. Like, I thought about saying they could do a zombie Ric Flair, but like with his health issues, like that'd be a gamble. Like, if Ric Flair actually passed away before they released the zombie, or like as they were releasing, like that would be, hey, there's my zombie AJ. There he is. Little dude. We need a good AJ Styles in the game, and unfortunately that's not going to happen with the zombie because he's already there. Zombie Big E could be fun. They could do E and Woods and have the they could do all three of them, actually. I was going to say Kofi has a zombie, but he doesn't. Zombie New Day. All three would be fun. Especially with their current gimmick, that'd be really cool. I would also love to see a zombie version of Ciampa and Gargano. That would be super cool. I would be all for that. Hey, look, this guy. Because we still don't have a good or even quasi-recent version of those two. That would be good ones to put in the game. We've got a zombie John Cena, but what's to stop him from making 3 more? Zombie Lita. I think Lita would be another one that I would love to see a zombie version of. Ted DiBiase could be super cool. Yeah, I wish they could have done a zombie Bray Wyatt, but not. They're not going to do that. I don't know for sure there's a hard and fast rule, but I'm pretty sure it's a dead set rule that they don't do anybody who's actually passed away. Like I said, Zombie Hogan is now the only actual not living person who has a zombie character in this game, and that makes me feel a certain way. I could do zombie Stevie Ray. Zombie Street Profits would be good. I wouldn't mind that. They could do so much with a zombie Omos, like kind of like a Yeti monster kind of version, or like a Chupacabra or something like that. That would be fun. I would go for that. Omos probably needs to be on TV. Probably they would do Talatonga first instead, but zombie Stephanie McMahon, the I created women's wrestling version of her would be fun. Yeah, I mean, Hoodie, I'm not denying. Hogan is my favorite wrestler of all time. Like, I have thought about going. In fact, I thought about doing it this weekend. Maybe I will. It depends on what Rusty's plans are for podcasting. If we can podcast Monday, we're going to podcast. If not, then I might go through and like use this game to rank my favorite wrestlers ever. It's kind of like a side project I've wanted to do for a while, but like just go through and be like, okay, Rey Mysterio, and I'll break it out by tier. Like there's going to be top tier, mid tier, and like lower card or jobbers. I'd say like, okay, for me, Rey Mysterio's mid tier. But where does he actually rank? Not as a character, but as a wrestler. Spoilers, there will be like a top tier above all the others. It'll be Hogan. I mean, no questions. Hogan defined wrestling far more than Austin, far more than Cena, far more than Roman, although I really like Roman. I mean, he is, like, I literally had the thought, like, wrestling died this week. Like, wrestling itself died this week. So That's a depressing way to end a video, but I guess fitting, considering it's zombie themed. I don't know. I don't know, man. But those are my picks for who I'd like to see as zombies in the future. I love the zombies crossover. In fact, my favorite events, probably every year, are October Zombie Month and Spring Breakout. Like, so much better than Christmas in July. So much better than, I mean, Summer of Champions was fun if they do that again. But so much better than all the other crossovers combined. I love zombies. That's it for this video. We're going to talk about some others like, the Ghostbusters. So, fitting, right? We're going to go from zombies to Ghostbusters in this next stretch. So, that's it for this one. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Who do you want to see this zombie October event coming up? And I'll see you on the next one, friends. Bye.